What's the worst that could fall out of the sky? Reptiles? Meteorites? We'll see, but I'm pretty sure some of you aren't ready for the first thing on our list. Spiders. There's a saying that everything in Australia is trying to kill you, but the truth was never this apparent until it started actually raining spiders. Arachnophobes, turn away now. Millions of spiders fell from the sky in southern Australia, covering the countryside with their eerie webs. A lot of news reports regarding this incident say that the spiders were babies. However, the reality was that they were all just tiny adults called sheepweb weavers, which are also known as money spiders. Honestly, I think they just made it a whole lot worse. Not only did our Aussie friends have to watch for spiders growing in their backyard, they had to make sure they weren't secretly spawning an army too. According to Rob Bennett, a research associate in entomology, this incident is a mass ballooning event. Sadly, what leads spiders to participate in something as horrifying as this is still unclear, even to professionals. But Bennett did share something to help settle our nerves. He said that these spiders pose no danger to people whatsoever. At least they won't bite. Red rain. If we saw this happening outside our windows, I bet a few million of us would be chanting prayers for weeks on end, believing that the end is nigh. Honestly, good thing I'm here to tell you guys that should this occur in our localities, not to fret. Why is that? Because this blood is just minerals and algae. Yeah, scientists from the Center for Earth Science Studies in Kerala examined the rain that poured in their area. Their research showed that pH levels of the rain was neutral and that in it were large amounts of nickel, manganese, titanium, copper, and chromium. The particles responsible for turning the rain red mainly were carbon and oxygen, with traces of iron and silicon mixed in. This led experts to believe that the likely cause of the unusual rain was an exploding meteor. However, further testing showed that the particles also contained spores, not of extraterrestrial origin but from the lichen-forming alga from the genus Trentifolia, which can be sourced locally in their area. Now you know, next time colored rain descends, check your ecology. Golf balls. We often hear about hail the size of golf balls coming down, but I bet you that no one ever expected to hear about an actual golf ball rain. But you know what? History tells us it happened. Sometime back in September of 1969, an odd rainstorm occurred, deposited hundreds of golf balls in the streets of Punta Gorda. The little things were everywhere, from gutters to lawns and on the roads. Oh man, that's gotta be something. You're out walking thinking of what to get for your golf-crazed friend when a bunch descends from the sky. On the one hand, your problem is solved, but on the other, you're probably going to end up having multiple bruises just trying to dodge the dang things. Reportedly, the golf balls kept bouncing around for nearly an hour. No one knows what happened, but there is a theory behind it. Since Punta Gorda regularly experiences severe weather, including waterspouts, it's believed a waterspout passed by several golf courses and sipped up the golf balls. Eventually, when it did begin to die down, it deposited all of its cash into the town, which is just crazy within itself. Frozen iguanas. It's raining iguanas, and honestly that scares me more than red rain, no matter how many people vouch about how harmless these reptiles are. Earlier this year, weather forecasters warned Florida residents about iguanas falling out of trees as the state was going through a cold snap. They were also advised to leave them be. This was because while the creatures appeared dead, in reality they were anything but deceased. The truth was that the freezing temperature simply immobilized and froze these animals. Remember, iguanas typically live in regions where it's always very warm, like Central and South America. They're not used to the cold, even though they're cold-blooded themselves. If temperatures drop into the 40s, they tend to slow down, or worse, get immobilized like this. But not to worry, animal lovers. The only reason weather forecasters warn the public is that too many of them were falling. Their health is utterly fine, and they didn't even break their necks in the fall. Just leave them alone and they'll unthaw by themselves. Next morning, you may just see your tree littered with them. Drones. Everyone loves a good drone display. It's almost as mesmerizing as a fireworks show, but you know what's not fun? Those same drones falling on you. One of them smacks against your head, you bet you need emergency services. In Henan, China, a spectacular showcase turned into a stunning apocalyptic scene after a crowd gathered to watch the light show, and the drones started falling one by one, causing viewers to scatter about to find cover. And this isn't just some video taken from a new sci-fi movie, it's true, and it was caused by human error. Luckily, no one was hurt, and reportedly no property damage occurred either. Though if I'm honest with you guys, I'm pretty sure a few cars suffered dents here and there. Those things are really tough and heavy after all. According to Soup China, the event organizers initially blamed a rival company, saying the incident happened due to a sabotaging signal interference. Later, however, the same organizers told local police that it may have also been due to operational errors. All I know is somebody probably got fired that day. Airplane parts. Oh boy, airplane parts falling from the sky. That is a headline nobody ever wants to hear. Thankfully, in this case, the pilot could turn the plane around and land safely at the airport, but not without some damage. The metal debris that came from the plane fell in Commons Park, the Red Leaf neighborhood, and the Northmore Estates neighborhood. That's a lot of places to leave your junk, but North Metro Fire Rescue confirmed there were no injuries. However, a large piece of metal did hang around someone's front yard in Elmwood. At least the tree branch caught it before we could fully make contact against the front window, thankfully. As for how this happened, a spokeswoman for the DIA said the flight suffered an engine issue. This left 231 passengers and a few troubled onlookers panicking as balls of smoke appeared in the sky. One passenger reports he also saw the engine burning from his window. Thankfully, though, everybody's alive. I do hope, though, that nothing like this ever happens again. Otherwise, it may not end so well. The Indian Meteor. Residents from a small Indian village thought they had made it rich. Why is that? Because over the weekend the other year, pieces of a fallen meteor had appeared in the fields. They'd cut and shared it amongst themselves, but the object was not what they had hoped for. The 20-pound thing that fell from the sky created a hole a foot deep, drawing the villagers' attention to it. Believing the item was a meteorite after it failed to melt, the residents quickly took steps to ensure its preservation. This involved them putting the pieces in their fridges, which is... oh boy. The reason it's oh boy is because Inspector Karen Singe of the local police department and a scientist from the India Meteorological Department broke the bad news, that the meteorites they had placed in their refrigerators was frozen poop that fell from a passenger plane. So, yeah, not only are they not making money out of it, but they're probably going to have to buy loads of disinfectant since who knows what those travelers ate or what illnesses that they may have. Better luck next time, guys. Now it's time for the day's best pick. Of everything on this list, this is probably the second scariest thing to ever fall out of the sky. Why? Because it may happen more in the future. Space debris. China's once again in trouble, but this time with the space community. Pieces of their Long March 5B rocket fell to Earth very recently, with some of this debris being found in Southeast Asia. This is the third time the country opted not to control the rocket's first stage disposal. The 25-ton stage slammed back into our atmosphere over the Indian Ocean last July 30th. Much of its booster burned up as it fell, and about 20 to 40% of it survived the fiery crash. These are the remnants that are starting to be found today. While it was believed that the chances of casualties caused by the event were infinitely low, it was discovered that some of the pieces were large enough to cause severe damage or injury had the chunks fallen into a village or a city. Luckily, so far it appears that none of them really did. Look guys, I'm all for the advancement of humanity, but hopefully everything works out well. There's a point of progress, we may accidentally wipe out a portion of civilization along the way. Russian gold. Remember what I said about someone likely getting fired for the drought incident? Yeah, for this entry, I'm sure someone will. Why is that? Because tons of gold fell out of the sky, and it's not by some miracle, it's because a cargo plane malfunctioned mid-air. This Russian plane was carrying about $235 million worth of platinum, gold, and diamonds when suddenly the hatch flew open, sending these precious metals back to Earth. According to a news agency, Russian authorities recovered more than 170 gold bars, each weighing about 20 kilograms. Hey, at least they recovered some, right? Though I believe they couldn't reclaim everything, I'm confident that if some valuables fell into people's properties, they likely hid or sold that immediately. After all, reports suggest some of these metals scattered up to 15 miles away from the airport, and really who could blame people? As for the plane in question, it was traveling from Irkutsk Airport in Krasnoyarsk when the pilot noticed that the metals were falling. He then immediately landed the aircraft in Magan. I just hope the crew wasn't made to pay for the losses. Before we move on, I've got a little challenge for you that'll take 5 seconds to complete. So here's the deal. You just leave a like on this video, smash that subscribe button and hit the notification bell, and you will get 25 years of amazing luck. Try it, it really works. Hodges Meteorite. The chances of getting hit by a meteorite are incredibly slim, however it still happened to this woman. On November 30th, 1954, Anne Hodges was in her home when she suffered from a rude awakening. While she was napping under her blanket on the sofa inside her home, a meteorite crashed through her roof, banged against her large radio console, and bounced onto her body. This caused her to have a massive bruise on her left side. This event caused a scare within her neighborhood, and at the time Americans were skittish about the threat of nuclear war. That and there were rumors about flying saucers, so they feared the worst when they saw the fiery ball in the sky. Humorously, however, Hodges' mother, who was also home at the time, thought their chimney had collapsed. She blinked and the house was filled with dust. Ah well, the important thing is everybody was safe and that Anne survived. Granted, she did get hospitalized for a while, but hey, if it's any consolation, the meteorite is known by her name and its official name of Silacaka. See you all next time!